Okay, it is bung time. This is Iron Hike. This has been in BVG before, but we had a little gap in the schedule at a weird time, so we get to see Iron Hike again. This is made, it's a Game Boy Color homebrew made by a guy by the name of Mikhail Anderson. I know it's made by Mikhail Anderson because here it is saying it's made by Mikhail Anderson. And the only reason I show this is I'm pretty sure this email address is long dead. Anyway, let's get into the dank lore. Iron Hike was going out with his iron. That's his iron. And suddenly a mean monster took. Oh, what did he take? His iron. Oh. Yeah? He ran off with the iron. I must get my iron back. We can't get over there. I will take the other way. So the last time I ran this, I ran all stages. This time, I guess we put any percent down as the category, so we'll do any percent. The difference is one stage. Anyway, this is Iron Hike. It's a pretty basic platformer with a couple of, I guess we'll call them borrowed assets. It's, like I said, a homebrew made by one guy. And it was part of the Bung Enterprises homebrew contest. 1998, I believe. The thing about Bung, which is something you may or may not have heard of in the past, Bung was a company that made backup units, which, backup units were the thing that predated dedicated, like, ROM dumpers. We're gonna skip 2 because this is any percent. They were a thing that plugged into a console, and then you plugged a game cartridge into the other side, and you could play the game, or you could dump the game ROM to, in this case, a floppy disk. 3.5 floppy. Oh yeah. Yeah, Bung made these for the Nintendo 64, but in this case, they made one for the Game Boy. And they did these homebrew contests where people made homebrew games and Bung released them in a pack every year in public domain to use with their backup units. Stick them on a floppy disk and be able to play them on your Game Boy through the backup unit. And you know, it not only provided them with a way to put out a reason to buy their units, but it gave them a little bit of legal shielding in that maybe their ROM dumping, ROM playing backup units were not entirely built for piracy. I don't know how well that worked because Nintendo did eventually sue Bung, to which Bung responded by dissolving their company and then reforming it 6 months later under a new name. Piracy in the late 90s, early aughts was a wild, wild west because, for one thing, we didn't have some of the IP expansionism that we have now. And a lot of this stuff was untested in a court of law, so you had wild stuff like people just making things that let you dump Game Boy cartridges to a disc and share them. The last story of anyone making a unit like that I've heard of involves someone going to heckin' prison, though, because, so, you know, Nintendo's gotten a little bit more power in that area. Iron Hike here. Like I said, one guy project entered in the 98 or 99, I don't remember which one, Bung Homebrew contest, probably didn't win. Oh, dank lore. We found the iron. Ah, your iron is in another world. Heck. Oh, on to world 2. Probably didn't win the homebrew contest, but it's a very competent little game for what it is. Like, I've played retail AAA studio Game Boy games that are worse than this. The music is a little if you can call it music, and some of the assets are a little borrowed. I say borrowed. I suspect it's more that the developer redrew them, because I'm not entirely sure how you would borrow like Ninja assets and Super Mario Brothers grass and all this stuff. So I suspect what actually happened was they were all redrawn, which is fine. You can trace as a treat. It's a homebrew game. He didn't charge anything for it. I'm not going to be too hard on him for tracing. Can I copy your homework? Yeah, but change the answers a bit. I will say though, this music will eventually bore its way into your skull. I consider this a pretty jokey meme run. I didn't even make a leaderboard for it or anything. Mainly because I can't do more than 2 or 3 runs of it in a row before I get a headache. I'm usually pretty immune to that stuff. I do love this weird jank though. I find it empowering. Like, someone went and made this, and it's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but they put it out there, and heck, 25 years later, someone's playing it on a marathon. Mikhail Anderson, by the way, did eventually end up going on to get at least a gig in the professional game industry. To my knowledge, he mostly ended up doing Game Boy Advance ports, and I think the biggest credit I've seen for him was doing the Earthworm Jim GBA port, which, you know, it pays the bills. I've never actually played that port, so I don't know if it's good or not. I know a lot of GBA ports tend to be a little crufty. Like I said, the main difference between all levels, which I did the last time this was in BBG, and any percent, is at the very beginning of the game you can split off and do level 1 or level 2 or both, and for all levels you do both, and any percent I skip 2. Feels weird. I don't run any percent more often. Let's see, I have 2 health right now, which, I mean, you have a health system in this game. That puts it ahead of Mario already. One other feature this game has that sets it apart from other, like, AAA and official titles. If you're ever confused about which way you're going, you can just look at Iron Hike. He's constantly pointing in the direction he's heading. It's super useful. See? He's going this way. Yeah, you know, Mikhail Anderson made this for the homebrew contest. Went on to do at least a couple of things that he got official credits for, according to Moby Games anyway. And I think it's real neat. I'm definitely a collector of curiosities, and I find this very curious. The exclamation point boxes never have anything but coins, by the way. Oh look, the iron. Oh, your iron's in another world. Crap. Surely it's here in World 3. The music is not winning over any fans, it seems. It's fine. Sometimes you want to make a game, but you only know how to use one instrument. One channel. Well, I lost my fireball by getting hit. And I'm down to 1 health, so I might see about just deliberately taking a death up here. Gasp. Strategies. Oop. The controls are pretty heckin' solid, though, for a game like this. Usually you would get, like, janky homebrew triangle jumps, or floaty physics or something. Yeah, let me just bop a spike right quick. Come on, the music isn't that bad, is it? I wouldn't know. I mute the game when I run it. It's the advanced strategy. You mute the game audio and then make everyone else listen to the music. Typically I make a little contest with myself, well, not myself anymore, I know the game well enough, with other people to see how many stolen assets they can identify. But I'm gonna have another game coming up soon that is going to be a much better wellspring of borrowed assets than this one. Look forward to that. That's gonna be in a couple hours. I have 2 more runs after this. This is just a filler. We are coming up to the end already, though. Iron Hike is only 3 worlds. Spoilers. I love the fireball, by the way. It's just a circle that vibrates when you shoot it. Compressed electro farts. Yeah, I can buy that. The music definitely has a certain Taco Bell on a Sunday night vibe to it. Why Sunday night? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's been a very busy weekend for me. I have been doing tech for the marathon quietly behind the scenes in my secret underground fortress. Anyway, final stage. Oops. Pretty much anybody can speedrun this. There's no speed tech, it's just get through this game as fast as you can. Not having to take a death is probably helpful. And this is a homebrew, it's public domain. You can just go grab it and start speedrunning Iron Hike if you wanted to for some reason. As far as I know, I'm the only person who's ever done a speedrun of this. It is very meme game status. It's right up there in my mind with Pringles, the Pringles game. Anyway, that's time. Let's see what happens. Now, you're not going to fool me for a 3rd time. There's no way this is the iron. Iron Hike finally found his iron. Oh, okay. Do we get credits, fireworks, some kind of celebration of our game over? Okay. Well, that's Iron Hike. Not much to it. I find it cute. Mikhail Anderson did go on to actually do stuff in the professional game industry, so this is kind of an origin story of at least one developer. But anyway, that's just a short little whatever that was. Game over, indeed. I'll be back in a couple of hours with a couple more runs with stolen assets, and